Hi, hello, I'm Bun Bun. Nice to meet you. Have like a little friends corner, a little chit chat, a little kickback. I'm gonna have my breakfast. We're just gonna talk. You wanna hear a crazy story? As the title suggested, this is about a Craigslist encounter that I had a couple weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago, right? So I had a dinette set to sell, right? Table and 4 chairs. Needed them out my house, need them gone because, I got a new set. So I need it out. It's in the way. So I put it on Craigslist as you do, because the Facebook market just wasn't getting any hits. What other selling sites like Let Go? You remember those Let Go commercials? I guess that's not a thing anymore. Like it's been discontinued or something? Not clear, but it wasn't an option. So, good old Craigslist. Good old, never know what you're gonna get. Could be super dangerous, but at least you're probably gonna make the sale. Craigslist. So I list it. Get a couple hits. Some people are like, oh, can you deliver it? The answer is no. So I get my hits. So there was a lot of flaky people, some people that just didn't come through, but there was one dude that came through, and this is where the story starts. Okay, so this is Mr. Zhang. All right, Mr. Zhang hits me, and he was like, hey, I'm really interested in your set. Can you send me some more pictures of it? So I'm like, yeah, of course. So I go take the pictures of the table, of the chairs and all that. And he was like, cool, I'm interested in it. I'm gonna come pick it up in the morning. So I'm like, great, we'll be here, honey. So morning comes and Mr. Zhang hits me and he's like, oh, hey, we might be a little bit late. Because they were coming from Denver. So he was like, hey, we're getting a little bit of a late start. We might be a little late. I wanted to be at your house around 10, but we're running a little bit behind. I was like, you know what? Take your time. It's no problem. We're going to be here. This was at about 8:30 or something like that when he emailed me. We've been emailing this whole time. Now, pause, because this is crucial. So Craigslist, it doesn't show you the email addresses. It gives like those generic numbers, but then also it says the name. So for his, it was Zhang. So 10 o'clock rolls by, and I remembered that he said that they were going to be a little bit late. So then it's probably like 10:05 or something, and someone pulls up. So I was like, oh, well, they're not that late. Like, they didn't even have to make an announcement about it or whatever, right? So we had the door open already because, we're expecting somebody to be here. So my husband goes up to the door to answer it. And who is at the door but some white biker dude? So here's where it's weird, right? Because Zhang. So I'm fully expecting at least an Asian guy, right? But it could be this white dude. It could be, maybe he married somebody named Zhang and took their last name or whatever, How could I possibly know? So I'm kind of standing in the doorway, right? Well, not in the doorway. I'm standing back like in the foyer, kind of. And my husband is the one that goes up to the door. And the guy, the not Zhang, okay, looks very surprised to see my husband. And it was really eerie because as he's walking up to the door, he sees my husband standing at the door waiting for him. And he pauses a little bit. Why is that? So immediately alarm bells are going off in our head because we're like, well, this doesn't really look like your typical Zhang. 1. 2, you look quite startled to be seeing my husband. So, and the only thing that we could think of in that situation is because you were expecting to be talking to a woman. Because, our emails or whatever. So my husband kind of like leads the conversation. He was like, hey, you're here about the tables, right? Let's go around to the garage. We have it kept in there because we're keeping, you know, the dinette set away from the cats. So then the guy was like, oh, yeah, okay. Come here, baby. So he takes him around to the garage. We open it. He looks at the table real quick, and then he's like, "Oh, I was looking for something a little bit smaller. This is a little bit too big." And then he runs back off to his car. He pulled up in a Jeep Wrangler, mind you, not the kind of car that you would bring expecting to bring a dinette set home. So that was already weird off a jump. But the whole interaction was just nuts. So he didn't buy the table, obviously. He gets in his car and he drives away. And so me and my husband are looking at each other like, that was really weird. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? All right, so then after that, like another like 10-15 minutes passes, and then there's another car that pulls into our driveway, a van this time. So at that point, we're looking out the window like, a little Asian man and a little Asian lady jump out the van. And at that point, me and my husband looked at each other and we were like, who was that other dude? Who was that? So then we go out and greet them. They look at the table and, you know, they take it. Everything was as we expected it to go the first time, right? We negotiated the price. They were like, cool, cool, cool. Loaded them up. They were on their way. So now me and my husband are looking at each other and we're like, so that might be the weirdest coincidence ever, or something else was going on. And I happen to think that something else was going on, because how is it that you pull up to my house so confidently? And here's the thing, you guys. I did not exchange my address with Mr. Zhang until that morning when they said that they were on their way. Okay, via our emails. All right, so it's not like the address was just floating around out there and some random Joe Schmo could have gotten it. So I'm thinking that unless this is just the world's wildest coincidence, somehow biker dude got pulled or whatever. And I don't know, maybe thought that he was gonna run up. I don't know. But the way that he looked so surprised, you guys, hold on. The way he looked so surprised coming up to the door, he was like, this is him walking, and then he's like, oh, why'd you do that, sir? Why'd you do that? Because normally, in a normal situation, if you're going somewhere and you know that this person is expecting you, the door being open and then waiting for you on the other side shouldn't be so jarring, right? That's one. Two, were you so surprised to see a man looking back at you? Were you expecting it to be me? Did you think he was going to run up and do something? Sir, I don't know. Sir, this is sketch. This is sketch. This is sketch. So that is your cue that if you sell anything on Craigslist, note the name so you can expect kind of who it's supposed to be. Maybe ask what kind of car that they're driving, so that if you see something else and it doesn't match what the person said, then you know that that's not that person. And then third of all, if you can have somebody with you and you don't have to make the sale alone, just so you can have some sort of backup, you know, because if I had to deal with that situation by myself, sweetie, the answer would have been no. The answer would have been no, because I would have looked out the door and saw that that does not look like a Zhang to me. So I just would not have answered. No, sir. No, sir. But also I wouldn't make that kind of sell by myself. I would absolutely have somebody here with me, whether it's my husband, it's my mom, if I had to call a neighbor over to spot me real quick, like, I don't know. But that was sketch. And the fact that he went with it, he went to the garage, looked at the table, feigned disinterest, or, oh, this isn't what I was looking for, and then scooted right out. So now here's our other thing, right? So it could be that maybe he was pulling up and thinking that he was going to a certain house and he was at the wrong address or whatever. Because my husband did kind of lead it. We're like, oh, hey, I guess we were expecting you, tables round back, follow me. So then the guy was like, okay, and went with it. Like, why would you go with it if that's not what, like, if you are looking at someone through the door and it's not who you're expecting to see? Myself, I would be like, oh no, I'm at the wrong address, I'm so sorry, and I would leave. I wouldn't then follow them to their garage, because Lord knows what, he has no idea what we could have been on. We have no idea what this dude was on. You know what I mean? So it's kind of weird that he went with it if he was like at a wrong house situation or whatever, because you know whose house you're going to, right? And if you know that that's not us, then why would you? It's the weirdest thing. I don't know. But I haven't seen that car in the neighborhood again. It doesn't seem like there's anybody, like, scoping the joint or anything like that. So it was either just the weirdest coincidence ever, or he was foiled. Let me tell you something though. My ancestors don't play about me. They don't. So that also could have been another thing where he walked up and he thought he was gonna, because no. The fear, the shock that struck his whole body, the way he stopped and looked stunned. Look, my ancestors were on the other side, like, pull up if you think you want to. Not in this household. You won't. You just won't. So that's the weird story of the day, guys. I hope that if you have any dealings on Craigslist, that you conduct it and do it safely. Do not be out here on no clownery. Take your extra precautions. Do whatever you need to do to stay safe. I know that we're in a panorama, so if we have to sell things off so that we can get extra money, or if we just need to make extra room or whatever, you got to do what you got to do. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just telling you the stranger things are out there. So just be ready. This is fun. Let's do it again sometime. I'll do another story time, because I'm one of those people that weird stuff just happens to regularly. I'm not one of those people that never has anything interesting happen. Like, I have stuff happen enough to where I could make this a series of story times of when XYZ happened to me. It's ridiculous. So, I might, just to catalog it for my own memory and bring y'all along for the journey. Anyway, we'll see you next time.